Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lin. Namaskar. Coming up in the next hour. India and Australia conduct the 14th Foreign Minister level framework dialogue. EAM Jaishankar and Foreign Minister Wong meet a day after both countries had engaged in the 2+2 dialogue. Every effort is being made to break through hard rock to rescue trapped workers in a tunnel in India's Uttarkashi. The 41 workers continue to be in good health after 9 days thanks to timely sustenance from the authorities. Talks on to release hostages held by the terrorist group Hamas. Israel releases security camera footage of the October 7 attack on the musical festival. Israel declares LET a terrorist outfit ahead of the 15th anniversary of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack. India's Information and Broadcasting Minister says that India will become the third largest media and entertainment market in the world in the next 5 years. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and the Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong held the 14th Foreign Ministerial Framework Dialogue in New Delhi on Tuesday. Under this framework, the two sides took stock of bilateral cooperation under the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, and they exchanged views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. Dr. Jaishankar stressed that the framework dialogue will advance the strategic partnership. And the Australian Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles and the Foreign Minister Penny Wong met the National Security Advisor of India, Ajit Doval, in New Delhi. The two sides discussed a range of issues, including global and regional developments, as well as bilateral and security and defense matters. The two sides emphasized the need to assist countries in the Indo-Pacific, ASEAN, Africa, the Global South, and the Pacific Islands to take forward their development trajectories in line with their priorities and in a sustainable manner. Our correspondent Amritpal Singh has been following these stories. He's joining us on the phone line. Amrit, put this into context for us. The 2+2 yesterday, today the 14th Foreign Ministerial Framework Dialogue. How different are the two?
Well, the Foreign Ministers' Framework Dialogue essentially looks at the foreign policy issues and the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries. So both Dr. Jaishankar and Ms. Wong reviewed the relationship in terms of defense, security, trade ties, in fact, the entire gamut of relationship, Mark. And they reviewed the progress made in the bilateral relationship. They looked at the aspects of cooperation, widening the developmental cooperation, the trade cooperation, and also looked at the impact that the relationship would have on the region and the wider world. So Indo-Pacific was much in focus because this comes right before the Quad meeting happens in January this year. Also, CICA was on the table, the comprehensive agreement on economic cooperation agreement, which both Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Anthony Albanese have expressed their desire to conclude it at the earliest. The negotiations are at the advanced stage right now. So it is expected that if all negotiations conclude by the end of next, then when Prime Minister Albanese comes calling on New Delhi, the two principals could sign it. Apart from that, Mark, of course, global conflicts, including the Israel-Hamas conflict, was on the table when the two leaders met. In fact, they're right now also in a meeting which has been extended by half an hour more than it was scheduled. Mark.
Sure. Amrit, the two sides already have an economic cooperation agreement. It's called ECTA, and it had come into effect in December of 2022, just recently. So what more negotiations are required in this economic space?
Mark, the ECTA was seen as was a big breakthrough when it happened. It was seen as an interim trade agreement, because both sides are seeking more duty-free access to each other's markets. For the Indians, for example, critical minerals, rare earth minerals are of great importance because of the boost it could give to defense production in the country. The same way, the Australians are looking at more access to India's agriculture market, India's wine market. A negotiation on how tariffs can be further reduced, or if they can work towards zero tariffs. If, what we are told is that the negotiation on SICA would mean about 90%, access to zero tariff to about 90% of trade lines to Australia for India. And for the Australians, a tariff-free access to about 70% of the trade lines. Now that would give a huge boost to the economic ties and trade and investment between the two countries. So this is what they're attempting. Right now they have access to, under the ACTA, to about 50% of our trade lines, and we have access to about 70% of the trade lines. So basically it's going to be an enhanced ACTA, if we can, in a manner of speaking, where they are looking at complete access or near complete access to each other's trade lines.
Amrit, also we understand that both countries are members of Quad and their priorities align as far as that's concerned in the Indo-Pacific. But when we look at, issues like the Global South, for instance, India has become vocal for the Global South. Also the Pacific Islands, like the Solomon Islands and things like that, to bring them into more inclusive growth. How do the two countries work together in these areas? Amrit? We don't seem to have Amrit on the line. Call drop, I suppose. Let's move on to our next story. Amrit is on the line. Amrit, are you with us? The Secretary General of ASEAN, Dr. Kao Kim Horn, says that India has emerged as a key strategic partner of the Southeast Asian grouping, and both sides are in a win-win situation in the 3-decade-long ASEAN-India partnership. Dr. Kao expressed ASEAN's eagerness for India to join the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership.
At a time when India keeps its Act East policy on top priority and Prime Minister Modi attending the 25th ASEAN-India Summit in September, the ASEAN is also reciprocating in the same way. The 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations hail India for its developmental story and praise for its positive role as a key strategic partner of the grouping. An 8-member Indian media delegation met Dr. Kao Kim Horn, the Secretary General of ASEAN, as part of the ASEAN-India Media Exchange Program in Indonesia's capital, Jakarta. Addressing the Indian media delegates, the Secretary General underscored the significance ASEAN places on its relationship with India.
This is a major track record. That's why we have the comprehensive strategic partnership. Of course, we've been working together across different sectors, from trade to investment to tourism to defense sector, counterterrorism, among others. Looking ahead, of course, we hope to continue to expand the existing areas of cooperation and also to deepen our cooperation.
Dr. Kao also expressed his eagerness for India to join RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which is a free trade agreement among the major Asia-Pacific nations. He said this would pave the way for better trade opportunities for both sides. Talking on the issue, the two major ongoing conflicts in the world at present, Dr. Kao said that ASEAN has always reiterated that conflicts must be resolved through conversations and dialogues.
ASEAN is a strong proponent of peace, dialogue and diplomacy. ASEAN has always been promoting cultural dialogue, habits of consultation, and of course, constructive engagement. ASEAN also has been a strong supporter of multilateralism. So we believe that all conflicts should use what should be worked out through diplomacy, particularly peaceful settlement dispute and the non-use of force.
Dr. Kao expressed his happiness over the P2P exchanges between India and ASEAN nations. The ASEAN-India Media Exchange Program involves visits by Indian journalists to ASEAN countries and reciprocal visits by ASEAN journalists to India, fostering a deeper understanding of the socio-economic and cultural ethos between ASEAN and India among the journalists from both regions. Nikhil Singh, DD India, Jakarta.
In a major breakthrough in the ongoing Silkyara tunnel collapse rescue, officials, they have successfully developed communication with the trapped workers through endoscopic flexi cameras attached to a 6-inch pipeline. There is joy among the families of the workers after the first visuals had emerged. The families have expressed their happiness after speaking to their loved ones. Earlier, food was prepared for the workers who are trapped inside the tunnel. The food was sent to the workers through that 6-inch pipeline that we are talking about. And also, the rescue team on Monday evening had managed to lay that 6-inch pipe through which the solid food and mobile chargers, they were also sent down and they're into that area of the tunnel which has been collapsed and in Silkyara. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also took cognizance of the rescue and relief operations that are underway. He spoke to Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami, and Dhami informed the Prime Minister about the successful construction of that 6-inch diameter pipeline across the debris and the delivery of food and other essential items to the workers through it. The Chief Minister has also talked to the workers with the help of that endoscopic flexi camera that we talked about, and he also informed the Prime Minister about the working of this camera as well as the health and well-being of the workers. Meanwhile, international tunneling expert Arnold Dix, who has been roped in to be part of the ongoing rescue efforts in the Uttarkashi tunnel collapse site, he said that he's absolutely sure that the trapped 41 workers will come home soon.
It's fantastic, of course, the news we've had over the last few hours. It's great to see the faces of those men that we're going to bring home. We've got, of course, better food going to them now. We've got communications going to them now. You'll see this morning that we've got multiple approaches for the rescue. It's a good morning.
And the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting of India has issued an advisory on the tunnel rescue operation in Uttarkashi. The advisory says that the incident site is extremely sensitive. TEV equipment too close to the site adversely affects the operations. Television channels are advised to refrain from sensationalizing the issue. Channels also are advised to refrain from undertaking any live videos from close proximity of the tunnel site to ensure that human life-saving activity by the various agencies is not disrupted. It also advised to be cautious and sensitive while reporting about the situation. Our correspondent Dibyendu Mandal is following the story closely. Dibyendu, no effort is being spared, as we can see, to get the workers out. Now, fill us in with the government's efforts to keep them alive and well in the interim.
Well, that's absolutely right, Mark. The government is doing everything possible to ensure that the workers are safe and they are safely brought out from the tunnel where they are trapped for the last 10 days now. As we have already shared that the food is being sent inside the tunnel after the successful drilling of a 6-inch diameter pipe. It is for the first time that solid food is now being sent to the workers, to the 41 workers who are now trapped inside this tunnel. Also, the vertical tunneling, which is very important for the rescue of these 41 trapped workers, is being carried out by international tunneling expert Arnold Dix. He and his team are continuously on the top of the job. They are ensuring that the vertical drilling is done perfectly to ensure that the trapped workers are pulled out from the tunnel without any problem, or perhaps without any injury to them in the coming hours, or in fact in the coming time. So all in all, the Prime Minister has also spoken to the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. The Prime Minister's office is continuously tracking the developments from Uttarkashi area of Uttarakhand, where this unfortunate incident did take place, and also the first sight of the workers who have been trapped inside the tunnel was shown to their families yesterday, and the families breathed a sigh of relief after seeing them alive and walking inside the tunnel. It was through an endoscopy camera that was inserted through the 6-inch diameter pipe, and also the rescue workers did speak to them, and also the mental health experts also did speak to them to ensure that their mental health is kept up in spirits. They are also being asked to walk down in the tunnel so that they are not they don't get fatigued by sitting in a cramped space. They have been asked to move around, and they have also been asked to talk to each other and keep the morale and the spirit high, so that all of them come out safe in the coming few days.
Dibyendu, also, how long before we can see a major breakthrough in the drilling? How confident are the experts of achieving this task sooner rather than later?
Well, the experts are absolutely confident that they will bring out all the 41 workers alive and with minimum injury possible. It is only a matter of time, perhaps, as you know, the vertical drilling has begun, and the examination of the site is continuously going on. The international team that has flown down to Uttarakhand is continuously on the top of its job. The machines are in place. Arnold Dix had also gone on top of the mountain to ensure that to see that the rocks are in place, and it is possible for the vertical drilling to take place, and he seems very confident that he and his team, along with other international teams from Thailand, from US, and from some other countries that have flown down to Uttarkashi to ensure that all the 41 workers trapped inside the tunnel come out safely and without any injury in the coming few hours. And perhaps it is only a matter of time now, because what we hear is that the drilling is soon begin to start, as the site has already been examined and a thumbs up has been given for the vertical drilling by the expert tunneling team that has come from various parts of the world.
Okay, just put that into context as well, Dibyendu, because it's a very sensitive zone environmentally. In fact, this advisory from the Information Broadcasting Ministry also mentions that, you know, there shouldn't be too much excessive happening out there. It could lead to an untoward incident or untoward damage. Give us an account of what's actually taking place and why it's so, you know, carefully done.
Well, you know, the mountainous region in which this particular tunnel is situated are part of the sedimentary rock, which is a soft rock. So too much of heavy drilling could, in fact, cause further damage to the rescue operation, which is the reason careful tunneling with very expert, with highly experienced people are needed to do this job. Also, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has rightly put out that that sensationalization of such an incident should not be done by any of the media houses, and to also ensure that the media contingent that is currently placed at that site should ensure that the rescue and relief operation is not hampered by the media persons going close and taking up close shots, etc., for their broadcast, and to ensure that the rescue operators and the individuals carrying out the rescue is given freedom and is not obstructed to carry out this job. And as far as the ecological sensitivity is concerned, as I said, it is a highly sensitive zone. There are soft rocks around, so the drilling needs to be done through highly experienced individuals, as well as the machines, highly experienced machines who can do this job at their best.
We leave it there. Thank you very much, Dibyendu Mandal, for joining us with that update. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. Campaigning reaches a peak in the Indian western state of Rajasthan before polling day on the 23rd. Updates from the Global Fisheries Conference that's ongoing at the Science City in Ahmedabad. And South Africa are going to host a virtual BRICS summit, this time to discuss the Israel-Hamas conflict.
A platform for the developing world, amplifying the voice of the Global South with a focus on the growing economies, resolving the conflicts, showcasing the culture, tradition, heritage and diversity. Watch Voice of the Global South at these times on DD India.
Turning crisis into opportunity, transforming ideas into action. Stories of real change. Tales of sustainable solution. This series is going to tell stories of such changemakers. Watch Changemakers on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Now, on day 2 of the 54th edition of the International Film Festival of India, the Minister for Information and Broadcasting of India, Anurag Singh Thakur, launched a 48-hour film challenge. This is part of the 3rd edition of the 75 Creative Minds of Tomorrow. He did so on Tuesday. Creative Minds of Tomorrow is a platform for young artists to transform themselves as leading filmmakers as well as artists of tomorrow. At this event, the Minister Thakur, he highlighted the success of the program and spoke about its rigorous selection process.
In the last 2 years, we had close to 150 such young creative minds who have joined the programs. With this year's edition, the total tally stands at 225. So you are already a strong force of creative minds of tomorrow. 225 people already working in the system, learning and growing. We never wanted this to be, the names proposed by anyone and they could join. We wanted always this to be a rigorous process, to be, it should go through, one of the finest names, the jury members. And that is how this year also we had more than 600 applications, and we have the best 75 sitting in front of us who are going to make all of us proud.
And while speaking at the launch, the CEO of Archie Comics congratulated the participants and lauded India's talent as a movie house.
Congratulate the 75 incredibly young, talented people, and we at Archie were here to help in any way, shape, or form to move forward with the youth of today. I'm always amazed to see how much talent there is in India, be that filmmaking, directing, acting, singing, songwriting, cinematography, all of it. Everything it takes to be part of the movie business. India's diversity is part of its creativity. And it inspires me to see how young Indians are able to do a deep dive into the melting pot of culture, languages, dance, folk songs, and tales that we use to tell stories, to move and motivate millions of people.
Also at the launch event, the director of the European film market, Dennis Rue, he also hailed India's steps to increase the incentive for foreign film production in India.
Introduced a very great cash rebate, and I look very much forward to fostered co-production between Germany and India in the future. But of course, it's great to see such a talented group of people here in this very great program. It's good to see that also India makes the film industry much more accessible for a diverse group of filmmakers.
Well, the Information Broadcasting Minister of India, Anurag Singh Thakur, on Tuesday inaugurated for the first time in the history of the Film Bazaar a VFX and Tech Pavilion. The pavilion will showcase some of the most dynamic, immersive as well as cutting-edge advances in filmmaking technology. Well, Shyama Mishra is joining us with more from Goa. Well, Shyama, all the action is, there's so much happening there. If we look at the future of cinema and some of the ideas that are coming out there from the young leaders, the actors of tomorrow, fill us in with what they are talking about.
Mark, this is the third edition of 75 Creative Minds of Tomorrow, and we understand that these people were selected from over 600 entries. They are coming out from 19 states of our country. Across the nation, these people, be it rural or urban areas, these people would be representing, and now the 48-hour challenge has already begun. It's kick-started. These people are now in action, now in motion to make their film. We also know that these teams are divided into 5 teams, and they are coded by colors. So each one will have their own story, own screenplay. Everything would be unique. So earlier, when we used to think about filmmaking, it was always about either direction or acting or something which is always talked about. But this time around, the film that will be chosen as a winner, that will be seen in various many parts, many in segments. For example, screenplay, cinematography, acting, singing, the background score, the VFX, everything would be seen. And these people are also being provided with, we could say world-class equipments so that their movie is made in 48 hours. We also understand that their enthusiasm is great because at the end of the 48-hour challenge, there will be a winner. And apart from that also, everyone would be a winner because their movies would be showcased internationally on the UK Shots, which is the platform which is showcasing it digitally. So really a big opportunity for the creative minds over here. And we also did see that Union Broadcasting, Information Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur, he came and he put in more enthusiasm into these people, into these young minds. Yes. And apart from that, we have a unique a series, a lineup of jury. We've also spoken to them. We did see that Mano Joshi is here. Shreya Ghoshal was also there yesterday. So all these people would be now judging, and the action has already begun. So yes, that's a very big chunk at IFFI. And apart from that, we are already seeing that masterclasses are happening. Karan Johar's masterclass has already happened. Ae Watan, Mere Watan. We are now understanding that there'll be at around 2:30 the Archies, the film that we've always seen in comics. The movie, which is Archies made in India. Yes,
Shyama, I guess there's a lot happening there. But if I may interrupt, we were talking about the young minds, and we are looking at the future of this industry. There is the concern about artificial intelligence and deep fakes, but there can also be good uses of artificial intelligence in the creativity of filmmaking. Is that part of the agenda?
Well, not for these young minds, we could say, but we've already heard the minister speaking. That deep fake or the AI, which has really come into the limelight right now, and we are seeing more and more cases of it every day. Minister has already warned and said, the proper use of AI is good, but if that's going to some other direction, then there'll be consequences. So we all know for the fact that these kind of wrong direction motives or actions will not do good for anybody.
Okay.
And what we've understood is that the equipments, the VFX, all these materials or equipments that these people have been provided, this will also be of a much larger use to these people, because it's not just here in and in near future also it will be very beneficial for them.
Okay, we leave it there. Thank you very much, Shama Mishra, for giving us an update from the International Film Festival of India going on in Goa. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. Microsoft shows faith in Sam Altman even after his exit from OpenAI. And there's another shooting incident in the United States, this time at a Walmart store in Ohio. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Here's a recap of our main stories. India and Australia conduct the 14th Foreign Minister level framework dialogue. The EAM Jaishankar and the Foreign Minister Wong meet a day after both countries had engaged in the 2+2 dialogue. Every effort is being made to break through hard rock to rescue trapped workers in a tunnel in India's Uttarkashi. The 41 workers continue to be in good health after 9 days, thanks to timely intervention by the authorities. And India's Information Broadcasting Minister says that India is going to become the third largest media and entertainment market in the world in the next 5 years. The two-day Global Fisheries Conference, India 2023, began in the western Indian city of Ahmedabad. And marking the World Fisheries Day, the conference will be celebrated on the theme of celebrating fisheries and agricultural wealth. I beg your pardon, aquaculture wealth. Now, it aims to bring together key stakeholders on one platform for a fruitful discussion. They're also going to talk about market insights, networking. The delegations are from more than 10 countries. They are physically there. They're participating in this conference. And there are over 50 other foreign diplomats who are also expected to participate virtually. So what's happening is that this event is going to be attracting about 5,000 visitors as well. And speaking at the inaugural function, was Chief Minister of Gujarat, the state which is hosting this event, Bhupendra Patel. He thanked the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, as well as the Ministry of Fisheries of India for organizing the conference. He said that with several achievements, Gujarat is the best place for this kind of a conference.
गुजरात के पास देश का सबसे लंबा 1600 किलोमीटर का कोस्टल बेल्ट है। मरीन फिश प्रोडक्शन में गुजरात देश में सबसे आगे है। आज गुजरात मोर देन 5000 करोड़ का फिश एक्सपोर्ट कर रहा है। फिश एक्सपोर्ट में गुजरात का कंट्रीब्यूशन 17% है। ये उपलब्धियां बताती हैं कि फर्स्ट ग्लोबल फिशरीज कॉन्फ्रेंस के आयोजन के लिए गुजरात सबसे उपयुक्त राज्य है।
And Jessica Thaneja now joins us from the venue. Well, Jessica, whenever one looks at these issues and themes, the the question is of sustainability, isn't it? When, after all, there has been a case also of overfishing in some parts that are causing problems to the chances of fish reviving and continuing to grow. Jessica?
That's right, Mark. And illegal, unregulated, unreported fishing also tops the maritime security threat. And we've seen in the recent past and how India has taken this discourse forward, looking at how important this event is, especially when the Fisheries and the Animal Husbandry Ministry was, in fact, introduced in the year 2019, given the kind of global importance the Indian fish export has seen. Now, frozen shrimp, as you know, Mark, is one of India's biggest export to countries like United States, even China, and Europe being the third largest market. So we're really looking at India enhancing its fish export and also looking at best practices, the technology that it involves. I've been speaking to a few of the stakeholders here at the event, and they do tell me India is a promising market, even though with certain challenges, which India now feels that it will be able to address with more collaboration and more communication, and perhaps improve its already thriving fish export. And as you know, it's the third largest exporter of fish in the world, accounting for nearly 8% of the total fish GDP. So of course, we're looking at how the entire mechanism has been put in place for India to finally look at its fish exports in a more advanced manner, and the kind of collaborations that could take place in the future. So a thriving atmosphere out here, and of course, lots of fish, Mark.
Yes, indeed. Jessica, so I mean, there is also the potential to grow all these fish products inland. There's also the possibility of food processing with the, if the production is really good, holding it on for a period of time. But when we look at issues like climate change, which could be affecting the movement of fishermen into the sea and to extract fish in the first place, is that an issue that is of concern?
Well, that's right. We've seen, and of course, along with that theft and of course territorial transgressions when it comes to the Indian Ocean, pardon me, and of course also talking about the marine debris. That's one of the concerns as well, Mark, because these fishermen who are fishing in deep waters also, of course, not using very eco-friendly nets, not just in the Indian Ocean region, but elsewhere as well. So this also brings in stakeholders and various collaborations in order to address that particular environmental issue, because it affects the marine health at large, and if it affects the marine health, then we consuming the food would of course be also affected. So this is one of the crucial things that has been focused on. Of course, as you pointed out, the illegal fishing, that is also one of the concerns that is being deliberated upon, Mark.
Jessica Taneja, thank you very much for joining us from Ahmedabad. Now, India's Minister of State for External Affairs, V. Muralidharan, met the Zanzibar President Hussein Ali Mwinyi, and he conveyed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's warm regards to the President. He took to the social media site X and expressed gratitude for President Hussein Al Mwinyi's steadfast support in strengthening the India-Zanzibar relationship and for his invaluable patronage towards the IIT Madras campus in Zanzibar. And India's Minister of State for External Affairs, V. Muralidharan, also paid tribute to Indian soldiers at the Commonwealth War Memorial at Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Taking to the social media site again, X, formerly Twitter, he said that their sacrifice remains eternal in memory. Campaigning has intensified ahead of the upcoming state elections in the northwestern state of Rajasthan in India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed an election rally in Anta region of the state. The Prime Minister said that the BJP has the aim to make India a developed country, and he also said that under the state government policies, Rajasthan is one of those states where unemployment and inflation have become the highest. The state government is currently run by the opposition.
हमारे सामने विकसित भारत का लक्ष्य है। ये राजस्थान को विकसित बनाए बिना भारत को विकसित बनाने का लक्ष्य अधूरा है। लेकिन जब तक भ्रष्टाचार, परिवारवाद और तुष्टीकरण नाम के देश के 3 दुश्मन हमारे बीच है, तब तक ये संकल्प पूरा होना मुश्किल है। और कांग्रेस इन 3 बुराइयों की सबसे बड़ी प्रतीक है।
The Viksit Bharat Yatra, an ambitious initiative by the Government of India, aims to reach every village council in India. It covers thousands of locations in North Indian states such as Punjab, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh. And this Yatra, it's going to commence on the 22nd of November. Various camps are going to provide immediate services and information on government schemes. On the 15th of November, while marking the celebrations of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off the IEC vans to disseminate knowledge on welfare programs. The campaign's goal is to cover over 2.55 lakh, that is 255,000 villages, the village councils, under 3,600 urban local bodies. This is going to be by January 25th of 2024. And some more stories now from across the country. India's President Draupadi Murmu flagged off 3 new trains and marked the commencement of the redevelopment of the Badam Pahad rail station at the Indian state of Odisha. India's apex court said that Punjab government's report suggests that 8,481 meetings have been held with farmers and farm leaders to convince them not to burn paddy straw. Over 1,000 FIRs registered and a fine of over 2 crore rupees has also been imposed. The court also questions the state government on not making the process of crop residue 100% free. The court posts the matter of air pollution for hearing on December 5. As per the recent report published by the Indian Journal of Medical Research, India's COVID-19 vaccination did not increase the risk of sudden death. Reports suggest that receiving 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccination reduced the odds of unexplained sudden death. 729 cases and 2,916 controls were included in the analysis. The 11th edition of the International Tourism Mart is being held in Shillong in the northeastern state of Meghalaya. And the International Tourism Mart, it's an annual event. It's held by the ministry in one of the northeastern states with an objective to provide a bigger platform to create awareness about tourism potential of the northeast, the tourism ministry, that is. Some international news now. To mark the 15th anniversary of the Mumbai terror attacks, Israel has listed Lashkar-e-Taiba as a terror organization. This has happened despite not being requested by the government of India to do so. Israel has formally completed all necessary procedures and satisfied all required checks to list Lashkar-e-Taiba on the Israeli list of illegal terror organizations. Israel described Lashkar-e-Taiba as a deadly and reprehensible terror organization responsible for the murder of hundreds of Indian civilians as well as others. The October 7 attack by Hamas on Israel had reminded them also of the horrific 26/11 attacks, which had killed Israeli and American nationals. U.S. President Joe Biden has indicated a deal that could be agreed that would involve Hamas releasing hostages from Gaza in exchange for pauses in Israel's offensive. The comment came during an annual Thanksgiving ceremony in which the president pardons a turkey. Earlier, the Israeli ambassador to the U.S. on Sunday has said that he's hopeful one will be reached in the coming days. The White House's national security spokesperson John Kirby in a media briefing told reporters that the United States believes the deal to release hostages held by Hamas is getting closer.
I know this is of great interest to all of you. I just want to let you know we're still working this hour by hour. I do not have an update for you on the hostage deal that we're trying to negotiate. But as you heard the Deputy National Security Advisor say yesterday, we believe we're closer than we've ever been. So we're hopeful. But there's still work to be done, and nothing is done until it's all done. So we're going to keep working on this.
There are a total of 6 American citizens who have died, not from the terrorist attacks on October 7th, but in the month plus since. 5 who are members of the IDF, and 1 who is a national police border officer.
The Army spokesperson, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, said on Monday that Israeli forces discovered a factory that produced weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles under a mosque in Gaza City. Hagari added that the soldiers also found a tunnel shaft after searching the mosque in the Zaitun neighborhood.
The soldiers from the 188th Brigade located inside a mosque, a factory that produced weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles. I want you to understand, a mosque in the area of Zaitun has been used as a factory for the production of weapons. Soldiers entered the mosque and conducted a search. Working in cooperation with soldiers from the Yahalom unit, and after the forces checked that there were no traps, they discovered a tunnel shaft. In addition to this tunnel shaft, the soldiers went further below and discovered a workshop for making rockets.
The Israeli army displayed a large cache of weapons and supplies obtained from Hamas militants on Monday following the attack on October 7. The weapons seized included Hamas rocket-propelled grenades, thermobaric grenades, also rockets and other weaponry. The vehicles and motorbikes used to cross from Gaza into Israel were also displayed. But South Africa is going to be hosting a virtual summit of the BRICS group, and they're going to be discussing the Israel-Hamas conflict. Tuesday's extraordinary joint meeting on the Middle East situation in Gaza will be hosted by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa in the hope of drawing up a common response to the more than 6-week conflict. All 5 BRICS heads of state, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, are to join the virtual summit. Besides, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres will also attend. Leaders from Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran and the United Arab Emirates will be attending the meeting. All these countries are due to join the BRICS group in January of next year. A joint statement with particular reference to Gaza is expected following the summit. Staff at OpenAI have called on the board to resign in protest to the surprise firing of the former CEO Sam Altman. It comes just hours after Microsoft said that it had hired Altman to head their new tech giant, advanced artificial intelligence team. DD India's Nick Harper reports.
Well, it's been a tumultuous few days in Silicon Valley after OpenAI abruptly let Sam Altman go on Friday. The ChatGPT maker said it was due to a breakdown in communications. Now the company is facing a revolt, with around 500 staff signing a letter threatening to quit, calling on the board to step down and reinstate Altman. He, however, has been snapped up by OpenAI's largest investor, Microsoft. Altman and other colleagues, including President Greg Brockman, who quit in solidarity, will be part of a research group at Microsoft. That group will head up a new research lab that the company says will set a new pace for innovation. There's also speculation that other OpenAI workers may jump ship and join Altman at Microsoft in the coming days. Microsoft invested more than $13 billion in OpenAI. However, the company reportedly only found out that Altman was about to be fired on Friday, 1 minute before it was announced. Some other major investors found out on social media. As for OpenAI, the revolving door has brought in the former chief executive of Twitch, Amit Sher. He replaces Mira Marathi, who was appointed as the interim chief over the weekend. It means that OpenAI has had 3 CEOs in just 3 days. The board said Mr. Sher has a unique mix of skills, expertise and a relationship that will drive OpenAI forward. Nick Harper in Washington, reporting for DD India.
Still to come here on DD India News Hour. World number 1 Novak Djokovic arrives in Malaga ahead of the Davis Cup. India to face Qatar in a Football World Cup qualifier in Bhubaneswar. And Surya Kumar Yadav is going to lead India in the T20 International Series against Australia.
A platform for the developing world, amplifying the voice of the global south with a focus on the growing economies, resolving the conflicts, showcasing the culture, tradition, heritage and diversity. Watch Voice of the Global South at these times on DD India.
Turning crisis into opportunity, transforming ideas into action, stories of real change, tales of sustainable solution.
This series is going to tell stories
Of such change makers. Watch Change Makers on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lin. The Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry conducted an XR open source fellowship program for Indian developers. Present at the event was Professor Ajay Sood, who's the principal scientific advisor to the Government of India. He spoke exclusively to DD India and he talked about the transformative process of artificial intelligence, the strengths of it. He underscored not only the marvels of AI, but also how we can safeguard against its potential misuse.
Artificial intelligence, as you rightly said, is a great tool, great invention. But of course, we have to be also careful of the biases which can be built in the data which is used by AI. So AI is built on the existing knowledge. So it creates further learning from that using various large language models, natural languages and so on. So if the data is biased, the outcome will also be biased. So AI has to be done with a careful thing. And this new thing which has been exploding, deep fakes using AI, is something which we have to guard against.
You're watching DD India News Hour, and now it's time for all the sports news with Deepika. Deepika, over to you.
Thanks and good afternoon, Mark. First, let's talk about Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting the Indian team squad. Well, Team India faced a heart-wrenching loss against Australia in the ICC Cricket World Cup Super Finale. Despite the disappointment, the indomitable spirit displayed by the men in blue did not go unnoticed as Prime Minister Narendra Modi personally visited the team's dressing room to offer words of support and a hug for pacer Mohammad Shami as well, who remained the highest wicket taker of the entire tournament.
आप लोग पूरा 10-10 गेम जीत के आए हो, ये तो होता रहता है। मुस्कुराइए भाई, देश आप लोगों को देख रहा है। मैंने सोचा मिल लूँगा सबको। होता है। कहाँ रहो? कहते हैं आप लोग मेहनत बहुत की है, लेकिन कहाँ बाबू? खेलो ना पड़ दो। हमें बहुत अच्छा किया है इस बार। तो गुजराती बोलते हो इसमें थोड़ा तो घर से तो आप लोग बहुत अच्छी मेहनत की है। चलिए होता है। होता रहता है ऐसा। हाँ। और साथियों में एक दूसरे को जरा हौसला बुलंद करते चलिए। और जब आप लोग फ्री हो गए, कभी दिल्ली आएंगे तो बैठूंगा आप लोगों के साथ। मेरी तरफ से निमंत्रण है आप सबको।
Staying on cricket, Indian Men's Selection Committee on Monday announced the squad for the upcoming 5-match T20 series against Australia. The series is scheduled to start from the 23rd of November in Visakhapatnam. Suryakumar Yadav is all set to lead the squad. Ruturaj Gaikwad will be the deputy for the first 3 matches, and Shreyas Iyer will then join the squad as the vice-captain for the last 2 T20Is in Raipur and Bengaluru. In soccer, India will take on Qatar in the second round of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers on Tuesday at Kalinga Stadium in eastern coastal state of Odisha. Sunil Chhetri-led Indian football team hopes to punch above its weight against Asian champs Qatar. With the fan support and a good home record, the Indian men's football team is very much keen on a positive result against Qatar. It will again help them to take a step closer to secure their place in the next round. While India won its first FIFA World Cup qualifier on the foreign soil in 22 years when it beat Kuwait in Kuwait by 1-0 in the qualifier round under head coach Igor Stimac. While India are unbeaten at home this year, but with Qatar, they will really face a side that is riding high on confidence following 8-1 victory over Afghanistan of late. On to tennis now. Ahead of the Davis Cup tournament that is all set to take place in Spain, world number 1 Novak Djokovic arrived in Malaga with an aim to complete one of the best seasons of his incredible career by leading Serbia to the Davis Cup title. Djokovic reached all 4 Grand Slam finals this year, winning 3 of them to move past Rafael Nadal to a record of 24 major titles. So that was a quick wrap from the world of sports. Back to you, Mark.
Thanks a lot, Deepika. And, well, the best in global television were honored in New York at the 2023 International Emmy Awards. The German show The Empress was awarded the Best Drama Series. Carla Souza bagged the Best Actress Award for the Mexican sports drama Dive, beating the Indian actor Shefali Shah. Martin Freeman won the Best Actor for his role in the drama The Responder. India also took home 2 awards. The comedian actor Veer Das won the Best Comedy Series for his Netflix special Veer Das Landing, and Ekta Kapoor received the International Emmy Directorate Award. The Indian-American author Deepak Chopra also presented the award. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin. From all of us here, thanks very much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.